And just like that, the final episode of the recording session has begun. Welcome back to Danganronpa, Happy Havoc. I'm your host, MegaShadowFist. It's like a video games, it's like a commentary. We last left off. We were here. So basically, if you guys recall in the previous episode, well, I think I had to cut that out, but we fell down the garbage chute and we ended up here. And we rested for a day, then Kitty Kitty came down in a trash bag and gave us some food and water. I'd be kind of weary about eating that food, actually, now that I think about it. But whatever. Food is food. We need to eat. Actually, in this situation, I don't think I'd be weary at all, considering. Thank you! I snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. Within seconds, it was in my mouth and making its way toward my stomach. Common rookie mistake. When you don't eat for a long period of time, don't wolf down the food that's going to make you throw up. Don't do that. I mean, that's easier said than done, but still. That really hit the spot. Now I've got all the energy I need to keep going. So you still haven't given up then? Of course not. After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at. Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at. All right. Kitty Kitty. But Kyoko, why'd you come to rescue me? By the way, let's save. We haven't saved since. Well, actually, we saved relatively recently. Actually, now that I think about it. Anyway, why'd you come to rescue me? To pay a debt. Or no, to atone. Atone? During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So, you knew that I knew. But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Don't say that, you didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you. But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there was a reason that I had to survive, no matter the cost. Action! Why'd you have to survive? I'll tell you and everything. The reason I have to survive is so that I can do what I came to do. So that I can do what I came to the school to do. What? I made up my mind to come to Host Peak for one very important reason. So you have some reason for coming to Host Peak? That's right, at least I did once. Once? Until recently, I've forgotten what it was. You forgot, but that's... I had no memory of what my purpose was. No memory? That's impossible! Amnesia? Then, is it really true? You lost your memory? Do you remember, Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at this school? The first thing... You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted when I woke up. I was trapped here. I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself, a disconnect. Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. At that time, I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to this school, and I couldn't remember why my ultimate ability was, or what. But what would make you forget all that? Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. Are you saying you think you lost your memory because... I don't think. I'm positive it was the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability. Somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. So the mastermind just stole them from you? And it could also mean... Somehow my memories may be connected to the mystery of this school and the mastermind. Which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you? If I did that and we all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always a chance the mastermind is actually one of us. What? Well, don't make too big of a deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? The mastermind, one of us. If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around here. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself. That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among everyone, you were least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition, but... I see. Intuition, I suppose. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind. Are you sure about that? I understand. I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here. It's just like the dream I had before, but why did that happen? Why did that just happen? Are you okay? Oh, yeah. It's nothing. It is nothing, right? Even now, I still trust you, you know. It's just, I'm not used to relying on others. I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. Alrighty then. Truth bullets, what do we need to do to prove her wrong? I'm just joking, what am I doing? We don't really need to save, we're gonna save anyway, because why not? Saving time, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Do we need to talk to her again? You said you had a reason for doing all that investigating on your own. So, how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything? I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability, what everyone should have known me for. I'm the ultimate detective. Actually, someone did point out that someone did predict that she would have been the ultimate detective, and honestly, that's really not a surprise to me. In all honesty. The ultimate detective? And the reason I came to Host Peak Academy, there was someone I had to find here in the school. You had to find someone? Who? Well, it was the headmaster of Host Peak Academy. The headmaster? Why did you want to find the headmaster? Because he is my father. Oh, well. Did I actually predict that on camera? I'm not quite sure if I predicted that on screen, but yeah, I predicted that the headmaster was her father. So I don't know, but I don't know. It felt a little too obvious to me. Like she had to have some type of connection. What? I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. Kyuko's dad. Is Hope's Peak headmaster? Something doesn't add up though. I guess he just had her when he was very young. Then that explains when Alter Ego told us how he thought the headmaster was involved. I'll find a way. Huh? No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster. No matter the cost. Kyoko, what's going on? My memory hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense. But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I'd seen when I stuck into the headmaster's room. Then, what did you see in there? The room had been ransacked, the shelves were a mess, the desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything was had been in there. You mean the mastermind, right? That was my assumption, yes, and it confirmed my suspicion. I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I'd found. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. This is some kind of map. It's a layout of the entirety of Host Peak Academy. I found the headmaster's room along Mukoto's profile on that key. Stretch. I'm starting to get kind of fatigued for some reason. I think you can tell my line reading. Stretch, get the blood flowing. Drink some water. This is an important point, and I cannot let my fatigue lead to even more mediocre than usual line reading. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time, and I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if that were true, the room would likely hold more clues, so I went to check. And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose is to find the owner of that room. So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there. But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So, what was it like? That part of the school, I mean. It's hard to describe. All I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realized, whatever's going on in this school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean? I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself. I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. It sounds like it must be important, and really ominous. Do we need to talk to her again? Jeez, just let us stay connected. Of course, once I got to the second floor of the doors, there were no cameras and no monitors, which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. It has to do with Makoto Naegi, doesn't it? Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her, and neither did you. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an alibi, so then who did kill her? If it wasn't any of the students, then... Because here's the thing, it couldn't have been any of the students, because, if it was, then everyone would have been punished, right? The reason that Monokuma was so in a rush to get someone executed is because they were close to figuring out that none of the students had committed the murder, so... Unless, well, then she did say that Monokuma was one of the students. I actually do have an idea. Remember way back earlier when I said that there was a potential spoiler? I'm not quite sure if that was the case, because I can't say with 100% certainty, but I believe that I do know who Monokuma actually is. I'm not going to say who it is. I'm not going to say who it is for spoiler reasons, but I'm 95% sure that I am that was a legitimate spoiler, but I can't say with 100% certainty. But I will say that once it is revealed, in case that actually is Monokuma, well, I'll explain the reasoning behind it and why the game actually kind of hinted towards it from the very beginning. Everyone but you and me had an alibi, so then who did kill her? What I can say for sure is the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Makoto Naegi was to get me killed. Get you killed? I stole that key and disappeared, and in retaliation they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me. That was the point of the class trial. It was? The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of the school regulations? Exactly. With minimal restrictions, you are free to explore Host Peak Academy at your discretion. The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules? That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations, because they're a student themselves. There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Makoto Naegi. What's that? There was a point where Makoto may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. Eh? I could have been the victim. You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean during the night? I can hear them, you know. The footsteps of the god of death. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. The ability naturally draws me into cases just like this. Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell, and I saw a white shadow across the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed, I saw the shadow go into your room. I ran to your room and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course. That wasn't the end of things, of course. Of course. I stopped them, but that led to, of course. Whoever the masked assailant was, they ended up dead, of course. And their murder was disguised, and the dual key wound up in my room. It all has to be the work of the mastermind in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. I think I'm going more into like why Sage Voice than Evil Dahlia. So all this would mean that whoever killed Makoto is also the mastermind, right? I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. But that's really bad if true. I mean, the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, but doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere, right? Excuse me. You're right. That is a contradiction. And it's not just Makoto. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So, what does it all mean? It means that the mastermind is the one who's been cornered. Huh? Just a little more. A little more and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair? There's no doubt that Makoto was the ultimate despair, and that she's dead. But I don't think that the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not? If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event. You're talking about what happened a year ago, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy. Whoever's responsible for that, they're the ultimate despair? That despicable group whose only purpose of motivation comes from despair. Then they're... Make no mistake, they're the root of all the evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair, and that is our real enemy. Chapter 5, 100-mile dash, pain of a junk food junkie. The end. It's the same, actually. Yeah, it's the same. To be continued. Now we're on to Chapter 6. Ladies and gentlemen, you got an item. You received Dream Island Rocket present. Cool. Do you want to see the data? Chapter 5 ending? 5 alive. Oh, hold on. Kirigiri, Makoto, Togami, Asahina, Genocide Jill / Fukawa, Hungakure. There were 6. I guess they just wanted to find an excuse to throw the word 5 in there and to have a pun or something to make it a pun or make it rhyming, and I don't know. Do you want to say the data? Chapter 5 ending? Yes, please. Over. I think we should actually be. Wait. How did we skip chapter? Wait, hold on. Chapter 5, Chapter 5, Chapter 4, Chapter 5. What the heck? Wait 1 second. No, that makes sense. Yeah, it does make sense. I was confused for a second. I have to look at the dates here. Okay, let's save for slot 3, please. The ultimate despair. A group of people who caused a tragedy 1 year ago. Those same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally been revealed. Not really, but right now we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of that story can come after. Yeah, you're right. Alright, do we need to talk to you again, or let's talk to you one more time. Kyoko, do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room. Of course I do, so let's get out of here. It's an absolute vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it. And it can open any door in the school, right? Let me guess, except for this one, right? That's right. And we should be able to use it on that door, right? Did you give it to me? Or, okay, I guess we're just gonna have to select it. Hey, Kyoko, we can use that key of yours to open this door, right? Let's find out. 1, 2, 3. 3. Kyoko took out the key with Monokuma design on and slid into the keyhole. And then... Okay, so it did open. Yes, it opened! Yes, it opened! And now we can get out of here! Let's go! Sounds good. We quickly opened the door and made our escape from the garbage pit. Finally. We are finally free. But there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief, because the real fight had just begun. Chapter 6. Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death. Deadly life? Huh? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're basically at the end of the game. Okay, so this went straight into deadly life. There is no daily life. Okay, so that means that... What the heck? After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up, like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up into the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intending on reaching the surface. The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea we were so far down. Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful. But now that you said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will help keep my mind off of it. So Kyoko, what's the point of having those little that's there to show who's talking, right? Like the little bubble thing. But the thing is, we already know who's talking because the names are above the whatchamacallit, or above the text box. So what's the point? So Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing detective work? How long? Ever since I can remember. I come from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way. Then, is your family famous? Quite the opposite, actually. Even among the actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. Huh? But how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So, because we take pride in it. Pride? A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we can uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society. Which is why we've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. A conscious effort? That sounds more like the talk of an anti-hero. It's kind of old-fashioned, and I can't say it's entirely rational. But it's our family creed, and we do what we must to protect it. Because, like I said, it's our source of pride. Pride. So that explains... Before I came here, when I was looking up info about the school online, I never saw anything about her. Because she had hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family. And yet, I gave up some of that pride. Huh? In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing that it was something a true kitty-kitty detective would never do. But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak, it was because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that. Reconnect. I have absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Huh? But you'd be reuniting after all those years, right? You would have had so much to talk about. There's no doubting I want to talk to my father about. There's no doubting I want to talk to my father. There's nothing I want to talk to my father about. There is something I want to say to him, though. What? No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him face to face. What is it? I want to sever all ties with him. Sever? The last time I saw him, I was still very young, so I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kitty family. He was talented, he had a promising future. But he had no interest in detective work, so he cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died, and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument, and young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there was a reason for that. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him. If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name. So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective. I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression. So I couldn't tell. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that, what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that compared to her usual self, she was more talkative and more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true. But there's one thing. It's not true? One thing that I can never forgive. Really? The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing. But when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as a little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me, even to this day. His shadow has been following me the entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow. That's why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family. In order to settle the past. In order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago. But your family, to just cut him out like that. Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul? No. Is blood really enough to call someone family? Only connected by blood, not by heart or soul. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't know how to respond. She does have a point though. So instead, I said nothing. Family bond is a natural human instinct for survival, because when you bond together, it allows you to, there's power in numbers, right? So when you bond together, you're able to survive, and, that's more likely that you'll survive and reproduce and have more children and survive. It's a completely natural evolutionary mindset. However, when you think about it, what is it, statistically, what is it, everyone in the entire planet, no matter who they are, you are at most 50th cousins with them, right? Because of, statistically speaking, if you put, 2 to the power of 50, because, generations increase in powers of 2 to the power of 50, that's more human beings than have ever existed in the entirety, right? Because 2 parents, 2 squared, That's 2 to the first, 4 parents, 2 squared, 8 great-grandparents, 2 to the 4th, so on and so forth, 2 to the 50th, you know, that's too many, that's a really large number. So actually, when you think about it, yeah, technically, you're related with everyone, whether you like to be consciously aware of that or not. So, in the end, no matter how closely related they are, they're still just another person. So what should really matter is the time that they shared with you and all the others. So I'm getting really, like, whatever right now. I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence. And after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. I just realized, since this is a deadly life, we're not going to be able to have a social Kiri-Kiri-Yari. Man, looks like this is it. On the other side of the door, Host Peak is waiting for us. We're back. Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash room? Remember that trash room? Okay, so perhaps those bubbles were good. Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash room? I'm fairly certain that's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open it without much trouble. Well, here goes nothing. I reached my right hand and pushed against the hatch. Now that's one of the, it looks like you should pull it actually, because there's a handle right there. The hatch opened with ease, and so here we are. Oh, that's right, but there was a lock there. Looks like we're back. But I can't believe how long the ladder was. I'm exhausted. I can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back in Host Peak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. I never would have gotten out of there without you. No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor. Alright, let's examine this. Because why not? This is how we got out of the garbage pit. I never would have imagined that's where this led. Kitty kitty. So, now what do we do? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out, I'm worried about you too. You helped me, so they might... You're worried? We haven't broken any rules. There's no rule that said, if someone narrowly avoided execution, you are not allowed to save them. There's no rule that says that. Yeah, of course. Then let's just get a concrete answer. Huh? Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. Wait, that's... If we try to hide, it's only a matter of time till we're found out. It's not like we can run away. As she said that, she pointed at the nearby surveillance camera. So you're saying rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now? We should just give up now? That's not saying... I mean, that is what you're saying, but the way that you're saying it is wrong. If that makes sense. I'm not quite sure if that makes sense. It's the wording. Don't worry, what you think is going to happen isn't. Because the mastermind is the one that's ensnared. The mastermind is the one that's there. The mastermind is ensnared. You said something like that before. What does it mean? The mastermind stood exposed during the investigation of Mukuro's death. There was a moment where the mastermind let their guard down. There was? If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. It'll be better for us if we go to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help with our negotiations. I'm still super uneasy about this. But we don't really have a choice, do we? Monokuma should be in the gym. Let's get going. How do you know that? Alright. Who do you... Makoto! I can't believe you're still alive! Okay, no, Asaina's not here? No? Really? No? Let's go to, we're not going to be able to go into our room, are we? Probably not. It's worth a shot. I want to at least try. Let's see here. Makoto? We need to get to the gym, to Monokuma. How do you know he's in the gym? Maybe he called all the students to the gym for like an announcement or something? I don't know. Possibly. But then again, even if we did, there's like, how long were we downstairs, or down the ladder, in the garbage place? Waste disposal place, I don't know. Whatever the case may be, Acropositic has an excellent... That should not become an ongoing. That should not become a reoccurring joke. That should only be a one-time thing. And plus, it wouldn't make sense. This is obviously the last episode of the recording session. This is going up on Thursday, right? So, as per usual, Thursday is, unless stated otherwise, this is obviously the last recording session in the episode in the recording session. Hey! Kyoko, I don't mind. Kyoko, I don't mind so much. But Makoto's supposed to be dead! What's he doing here? That's exactly how I thought he'd react. Are we really gonna be okay? We didn't break any rules, buddy. You were supposed to be punished! Did Kyoko help you? So what if I did? What will you do? If the guilty parties exposed to the class trial, they alone will be executed. It's unfortunate, but that is the rule. So now I gotta punish you again. This time I won't leave anything to chance. Kyoko, do whatever you feel you have to. What? But before you do, let me just say one thing. If you execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right? Huh? I lose? You explain yourself. What do you mean by that? Well, you set up this latest class trial yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you wanted you wanted an excuse to kill me. I was supposed to be the chosen as a black and then executed, right? Hey, what are you talking about? Well, Makoto chose to overlook my lie. Your plan came crashing down. The results of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting. Because you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like that. And in response to that unexpected development, you reacted by proclaiming Makoto the Blackened and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation, no more than that. You must have realized that, Makoto, who refused to be... Let me get some water. What is going on right now? It's not even that I need water. I just wanted an excuse to like catch my breath or something, cause like you must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well. But then there was another unexpected development awaiting for you. An entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, in your precious execution machinery. Alter Ego. You never imagined the possibility of a being that could come to our aid even after you killed it. Now here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Makoto, you did! So executing Makoto for it would surely be a violation of your rules, which I know you love so much. If the Blackened is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right? And what? And that means I lose? You talk a big game. You're saying the Blackened is me and not Makoto? And you can prove this, right? No, I can't. Oh, okay, so this murder's gonna go over just so it's deadly life, so we're gonna investigate some more about the Tri-C. Don't just say it like that! What is it? What is this, a comedy routine to make such bold claims without a shred of evidence? I don't have any right now, but with a little more time, I guarantee I'll find some. Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there's only ever one absolute truth. And now you're trying to talk like some kind of famous detective type? If Makoto really was the killer, he never would have come to you willingly like this. Excuse me. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He'd have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you so love to inspire. But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts. And that's supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence? It's not you I'm trying to convince. If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased. Oh. Huh? I see. I'm picking up what you're throwing down. Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume that you killed him because what he said is exactly right. Despair can never kill hope. Of course, you could say we're just making this all up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. If you want to earn our despair, fair and square, then I suggest you take my advice. So, what is this advice of yours? To do Makoto's trial over again. Only this time you follow the school regulations to ensure a fair trial. It's time for one last showdown, one final battle between hope and despair. Well, that would make for a proper climax, wouldn't you say? A fair trial, one last showdown. In other words, this would be our chance to expose the true identity of Makoto's killer, or the mastermind themselves. But what reason would the mastermind have to accept the challenge? They'll probably just execute me without another word. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Very? Oh, I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little, so time for bear jokes. Now, what you suggested might be plausible. It would certainly make for one honey of a climax. Doesn't that mean you accept? If we do things your way, that'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? And it would cause you unbearable despair, right? And I'm prepared to agree to your terms. Will your hope win out, or will my despair claim victory? Let's have one final grisly showdown! He agreed. Those puns, man. He agreed. Then we still have a shot. We still have a shot at this. But this is a long-awaited climax, right? Just guessing the kill is barely a fitting end. So for this final face-off, you have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried here. All the mysteries? That's right. Every last mystery that's pawing around the school. If you can do that, then that'll be enough to qualify. Koalas aren't bears, buddy. I mean, they have the qualify as a victory for you. That's what we've been trying to do all along. Okay, well good, then let's bear it all! If you can claw your way out to the truth of Mukoto's death and solve the mystery of this school, then you win! But if you can't do all of that, we'll all face execution, right? I can barely contain my excitement! I'm changing his laugh more into like friggin' like, that was a laugh that I gave, pain. You can't do that, Phoenix, right? When you learn the truth, when you learn the whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me? We're as excited as you are, I'm sure. When we've uncovered every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair? Honestly, can't believe how this all turned out. But before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? When one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held. I remember that for sure, so what? I just want to confirm that is what you said, right? And it's a true statement. You don't have to be so suspicious, I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Everything is based on the school regulations, and having a trial for Makoto is no exception to that. Huh? Makoto's trial is no exception, then it's part of the regulations? Which would have to mean that whoever killed Makoto. That's a very polarizing approach, I know, but okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students, and the only people to take single step in the whole thing since. Okay, I need to say what I need to say because like my thought process is distracting me right now. Okay, so the obvious plot twist, the obvious solution to this would be that since Monokuma more than likely is one of the students, because I believe Kirigiri said that, right? Then that means that if Monokuma killed the students, then killed another student. He would technically be breaking the rules, and thus a class trial would have to be held regardless of if he was the headmaster or not, the mastermind or not. So, and the only people to take a single step of Hook Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students. What? Are you telling the truth? Why do you go quiet all of a sudden? Wait, hold on. Actually, I just thought of something. Okay, so I think that's only completely confirming. The idea. Like, remember the spoiler that I mentioned earlier in the episode? How I thought that like there's I believe I already know who Monokuma is, and I believe that they are a student. Did those shoes on that body on Ikusawa Mukuro's body seem suspicious to you? They are familiar to you? Yeah, they did. There was a certain student who was wearing those shoes. And, oh, yeah, I think that actually, yeah, I think I know who Monokuma actually is. I think that was a legitimate spoiler. Oh well, whatever the case may be. Why did you go quiet all of a sudden? I've said too much. I don't want to spoil it for you guys. I'm done talking. I got nothing left to say to you. So get lost, would ya? Why so mad? He seems emotionally unstable. Leave me alone! Get out of here! Okay, I'm going. You're really gonna let me go? I don't even care anymore! You're all gonna get your punishment later anyway! I need to start getting it ready! Super duper extra special punishment overflowing with despair! Come on, Makoto, let's go! Okay. I love how like my Monokuma laugh has just been getting more and more ridiculous as like the series has been going on. Monokuma's unstable laughter seemed to cling to us all as we walked away, and just like that we were out of the gym. I mean, cause like I feel like it's kind of hard to make that laugh like intimidating or to take it seriously. So I feel like if it's gonna sound silly regardless, I might as well make it as silly as possible. I can hardly believe it, but somehow I ended up not getting somehow not executed. I still had my life, and we still had a chance. Overall, things turned out way better than expected. Once again, I was in Kyoko's debt. Alright, let's talk. Kyoko, thank you. Everything I have right now is because of you. Don't thank me just yet. The real battle is still ahead of us. Yeah, true. But still, I'm glad it worked out. I wasn't sure the enemy would accept my proposal. But honestly, why did the Mastermind agree to that? I mean, they don't stand to gain anything from a final showdown, do they? They had no choice but to accept. Huh? It's all because of that one moment that the Mastermind let down their guard, like I said. So when was it the Mastermind let their guard down? I wasn't there to hear it myself, but do you remember what the Mastermind said? They said they had hijacked the airways to broadcast their school life to the outside world, right? Yeah, they definitely said that. And what did you think when you heard that? Pretty hard to believe, right? Well, I mean, the idea of actually taking over the airways seems so unbelievable. You don't exactly read about something like that happening very often, so it's hard to imagine. In other words, that kind of thing is extremely difficult to pull off. And yet somehow, the Mastermind was able to do it. But think of it another way. There must have been some reason they had to do something like that difficult. A reason? They had to show the world something. No matter the cost. Us killing each other. They want to show the world. They wanted to show the world. Okay, I think I'm gonna need to end off the episode because like these line readings are just getting like, yeah. The Mastermind's been very adamant about not killing us directly, but forcing us to kill each other. And all their rules and regulations were designed to encourage that. Yeah, that makes sense. If those stupid regulations didn't exist, nobody would have killed anybody. So the Mastermind's ultimate goal is to make us kill each other and show that off to the world. But why? To prove a point, most likely. Prove a point? The outside world is a name for the students of Host Peak, right? A certain concept. You're talking about hope, right? And for those of us who represent hope, to kill each other and sink into despair. The Mastermind wants the world to see that, to try and prove that despair is better than hope. That's their goal, is the ultimate despair. What? They want to prove that despair is better than hope? But that's ridiculous! You're right, it is ridiculous, completely irrational. It's the kind of thing that nobody but those who call themselves the ultimate despair would devise. That group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. But is that really their only reason for making the rest of us suffer? I know how angry it must make you, and yet that same motivation is what led to the Mastermind revealing their weakness. What? Because their goal is to broadcast their killing game to the world. The Mastermind has had to be more particular than is reasonable about their own regulations. If the Mastermind simply ignored their rules, this wouldn't have been a game but a one-sided slaughter. And at least that's how those who are watching this would have seen it. And that's why the Mastermind couldn't kill any of us themselves? That is precisely the reason. No matter how much they may hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of the regulations. Junko broke the rules, so she was punished, but in my case, they couldn't lay a finger on me. So instead, they tried to use the class trial following all their proper rules to get me killed. They began a trial that didn't have a right answer that then made me out to be the killer. But even that didn't work. Yes, thanks to you. And due to that failure, the Mastermind took yet another risk. They attempted to kill you instead, who also was not the killer. And when that fact was exposed on live TV to the entire outside world, the Mastermind had to accept your suggestion? To prove to the world that despair is better than hope, they have to defeat us in perfect form. It would only do the Mastermind harm to have it shown that they'd violated their own regulations. But all that was a hunch, right? And you were still able to get the Mastermind to accept your challenge. Well, it's only thanks to you that we got to that chance, because you believed in me. Another path opened up. Still, I can't believe how much of the Mastermind's thoughts and plans you were able to figure out. I didn't have the slightest clue. In the end, though, I couldn't prove any of it. It was just my reasoning. Essentially, I was making a bet. But it looks like I got it right. This time at least, I won the bet. She let out a pic. Okay, after this is over, we're ending the episode. Like, this is getting ridiculous. She let out a quick sigh. I took it as a small sign of relief. To be honest, I haven't been that nervous in a long time. I totally couldn't tell you were nervous at all. You seemed totally confident from the moment we decided to go talk to him. Well, presenting a strong demeanor is a fundamental part of negotiation and persuasion, wouldn't you say? Plus, if I showed my uneasiness, that would have just made you that much more uneasy. Yeah, you're probably right. How pathetic. Anyway, we can't just relax, right? We can't relax just yet. All we've done is earn another chance to fight. We have to win this time. Everything we've gone through will have been for nothing. You're right. If we can't defeat the Mastermind, it'll cost us our lives. There's no option except to win. But before we begin the final battle, we have to tell the others what's going on. True, but now we know who our real enemy is. All we have to do now is work together with everyone to destroy the mastermind. Work together with everyone. Is that really possible? Huh? Anyway, right now we have to go find the others. They're probably in the dorm somewhere. Shall we go? Okay, so I think we're gonna find everyone, then we're gonna end things off. That's what we're gonna do. Cause I am doing absolutely terrible with Rhinely things. It's one of those things though. I mean, I've recorded for longer than this, and I've done line readings for much longer than this. Like, honestly, honestly, this is easy mode compared to, like, doing, like, actual VA work. Because, like, with actual VA work, you can't actually mess up. If you mess up, you have to start over. Like, if you mess up a line, you have to reread that line entirely. So, as a result, and then, of course, you also have to worry about, actually getting, the best inflection and intonation from the very beginning, right? So, or not from the very beginning, but you have to make sure that you read it right. Because, in this, for this, I can read a line, I'm like, okay, I'm probably, if I read that line again, I probably would have read it differently. But, it was good enough, I'll just let it pass. So, I don't know. And suddenly, we are greeted with... You again. Is he broken? I suppose an emotion instability reaches limit. Agent for some Sen Eckerton 61! Jeez, what the heck? I wonder what that was all about. I couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief. What was that? That sounded like a puppy getting kicked. Is that Makoto? You guys! It is! There's no two ways about it! That's Makoto! You survived? Jeez, you're like a stubborn little cockroach, you know that? I'm just asking to make sure, but you're not a ghost, right? Everyone was there. All of my friends who had struggled together and survived. As soon as I saw their faces, I couldn't help myself. I started to tear up. It's the smell of death. What do you think? Wait, what's that smell? Okay, I need to save and rest for a little bit. Alright, all unsaved progress will be lost. Continue. Rest for a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to be recording until next week, so assuming that, knock on wood, the world doesn't get taken over, or, someone doesn't decide to, a zombie apocalypse doesn't happen, or a nuclear reactor just doesn't go up, or maybe there's a plane flying over and they happen to have a nuclear bomb, and then something happens and the nuclear bomb falls out and then it explodes and then everyone dies, that type of stuff. Oh my god, that just reminds me of this one joke that I made during Tales of Vesperia. I remember that. I was in Halure. And I was like, okay, was I in Halure? No, it was either I was in Halure or I was in, Capua. There's Nor and, the other one. I think I was in Halure, and I was like, okay, I'll see you guys in the next episode, assuming that North Korea doesn't, blow us up or something. I don't know, anyway. Without further ado, let's go and end things off here. So, if you like this, what? Okay, so I just got a random tweet. How dare you distract me on deciding to end off the episode. So, who do you think is the real killer? And also, who do you think is the real person? Actually, very fitting thingy. Ending pose. We have Makoto and Kirigiri right here. Yeah. I am all over the place. What? What is going on? I never fall apart this much at the end of a recording session. Jeez. Let's go ahead and end things off here, because this is just a train wreck at this point. So if you like this video, there's a series of videos, please feel free to like. That is cool. Please feel free to subscribe and join Team Start Video today. Also be sure to follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/MegaShadowFist. I'll be sure to leave that in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's MegaShadowFist signing out. Bye.